Hi guys, it's Dora here. Welcome to Friday Yoga. So again, I highly recommend using 2 yoga blocks. So please grab them and have them with you if you own yoga blocks at home. We may or may not need a strap. But if you have it with you, it's always a plus. We have about a minute before we get started. So again, settle in. Find the most comfortable position. You might be seated, you might be lying on your back. And then just give yourself a moment to settle. Making any tiny adjustments so that you feel comfortable. Get any excess energy out. So you can focus. You can choose to have your eyes either closed or open. But if you do have the eyes open, allow your gaze to remain soft. Allow yourself to arrive back into your body. And just start to notice your breath. Noticing each inhale and exhale without trying to intentionally change your breath in any way. Just notice, just observe and feel. Feel each inhale and exhale in your body. Noticing the movement of your breath and how that connects with the movement of your body. And as you pay attention to your breath might naturally expand and lengthen. So allow this expansion to happen, taking a little longer to breathe in, and maybe even a little longer to breathe out, taking your time. Noticing how your body feels as you breathe in, and any sensations that might arise as you breathe out. And again, without judgment, without the need to change or fix, just watch and observe. And as you lengthen and deepen your breath, it might even feel natural to take pause at the end of your breath and at the beginning of your breath. And if that feels right, you might stay there in the pauses, in that silence. So breathing in, hold for a moment, and then breathing out and hold for a moment. And continuing this cycle a few more times. Again, allowing all the sensations, emotions, and thoughts to arise as they may. But without attachment or judgment, also allow all of these thoughts, feelings, sensations to move out and be released. And more you might even find yourself enjoying and staying in that moment of pause and silence between your breaths. Let's take one last deep breath in. And breathe all the way out. Whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes and come back into the room. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So if you are on your backs, gently make your way up. Feel free to sit cross-legged. Feel free to sit onto a block or two or a cushion or anything that might get you feeling a little bit more comfortable in this pose. And start to ground the sitting bones down. We're going to hug the belly in and lengthen along the spine. Relax the shoulders. You can bring your hands onto your lap. And we're going to start by drawing the heart forward. Relax the shoulders down. So coming to a seated cow pose. And you might look up if that feels good to do. Now starting from the belly, start to pull the belly in, round the spine. You can allow the shoulders and neck to relax. And again, inhale, open the chest. Gently slide the shoulders down, maybe looking up. So exhale, coming to cat pose. So a few more times at your own pace. Again, I normally start off by giving you a breath that you might want to work with, but know that you can always work with the opposite breath if that makes more sense to you today. Last one, breathing in and out. And come on back to center. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. You might look up to the fingers. And then from here, we're going to bring the right fingertips down. We're going to lengthen along the left arm. On your next exhale, you're going to come to a side body bend. Coming to your right. And coming back to center, inhale, right arm up. And exhale, side body. So again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, across. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, across. Let's do one more on each side. Breathe in, lengthen. And exhale, side body. And breathing in, reach up. And exhale, across. And come back to center. We're going to move on to hands and knees, so come to a tabletop position. If you need to throw a blanket underneath the knees for extra cushioning, please do. And then when you're ready, we have hands roughly shoulder width apart and knees are roughly hip distance apart. Shoulders on top of the wrists, hips on top of the knees. We're going to continue with the cats and cows here. So as you breathe in, let's start with cows. So open the chest, look forward, arching the low back, maybe looking up. Exhale, pull the belly in, push the ground away and drop the head. Again, inhale, coming to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Sometimes it feels good to tuck the toes in this pose. And then untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down as you come to cat. One more, inhale. Exhale. And coming back to neutral spine, coming to tabletop. From here, we're going to reach the right foot back, so toes on the ground to start. Pull the belly in, lengthen the spine, and gently relax the shoulders away from the knees. Away from the ears, sorry. Now keep the belly strong. If it feels good, you're going to float that back foot up, press into the back heel, keep drawing the belly in. You can stay here, or you might reach the opposite arm forward. Note that you can always place that hand back down if you're starting to get a little wobbly here. If you're good here, we're going to draw the knee to your chest and maybe elbow to the knee. See what works best. And then re-extend. Again, draw them in and away. One more. Exhale and inhale. Hold here. Now let's place the hand back down. We're going to swing the leg out to the side and place the foot down. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing, but you stay where you are. So toes might be facing straight forward, or you might have the toes slightly turned out, okay? Walk the hands closer towards you and bring the hands onto your hips to come up. When you're ready, reach the arms up overhead and you might interlace the fingers except the index fingers. And as you exhale, you're going to side bend towards your outstretched leg, so to your right. Coming back to center. You're going to release the hands down. Bring your hands onto your hips. And you're going to bring your left hand down to the ground. And if it feels good, you might float that back foot up. Press into that back heel. Belly in, chest open. Maybe the top arm will reach up. Breathe. Bring the top hand down, foot down, and come on back. Hand to the ground. Bring the leg back in. You're back in tabletop. All right. Now from here, if it feels good, you can go ahead and make any movements here that might make sense to help you reset. And then coming back to tabletop. Again, belly in, spine is nice and long, reaching the left foot back now. So hips are as squared as can be, pull the belly in, spine is long, shoulders relaxing away from your ears. Deep breaths here. You might stay or you might float the back foot up. Press into that back heel. Pull the belly in. Sometimes we begin to arch the back when that foot is lifted. Option to stay here, otherwise opposite arm forward. Breathe. And when you're ready, drawing the knee and elbow together and away. Again, draw them in and away. Last one. And reach, hold here. Bring the hand down, bring the foot out to the side, and slowly come on up. Again, I'll face you here. Okay. Reach the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, except the index fingers. Exhale, left. Come on back up, hands onto your hips. Bring your right hand down to the ground, float the left foot up. Press that foot away, open the chest, maybe top arm up. Top hand on your hip, bring that foot back down, come on back. So we're going to bring the hands down, bring the knee back. Now you're back in tabletop position. All right. If it feels good, you might come down to a child's pose for a moment. You might flip the palms up to the sky to release the wrists. And let's just take a deep breath here. And then when you're ready, look to your hands. Bring that palms back down to the ground. So you're going to reach the arms forward. Shift forward. So shoulders are more or less over the wrist. Tuck the toes under. Then we're going to send the hips way back. Lengthen out the spine. And can we keep this length in the spine as you begin to draw the heels towards the earth? Give yourself a moment here to walk out the legs. And then settle into your downward facing dog. Breathe. Belly in, spine is long. Grounding into the hands, into the feet. One more breath. And then look towards your hands. Start to walk the feet forward. Now as you do get to your hands, you're going to step the feet just to the outside of your hands. So the feet are a little bit wider than usual. And then you're going to relax down, coming to a forward bend. Now notice knees can be quite bent here. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Keep the belly strong. And then exhale, release. Again, inhale, come halfway up. Belly's engaged, spine is long. Exhale, lower. Now option to stay right here, or you might hold on to the elbows and come to ragdoll. Or option 3, you might bring your hands behind your back and interlace the fingers. Maybe straightening out the arms, maybe pointing the arms up towards the sky, or even towards the back of the head. Now from here, we're going to start to lean into one leg, so perhaps your left leg, and bring your body towards the left. And you're going to turn your chest open to look at the right. Come on back to center. Shift your weight into the other leg. Open the chest. And come back to center. So at your own pace, just moving slowly side to side. Now, if it doesn't feel good to turn your head, that's okay. You can keep your head relaxed and looking downward. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come on back to center. You're going to bring your hands onto your lower back and then release them down. Come halfway up, lengthen along the spine, and exhale, lower. We're going to bend into the knees, pull the belly in. Now round up slowly, stacking one vertebra at a time. Keep the belly engaged and come on up. Inhale, reach those arms up. Hands to your heart, exhale. You can begin to step the feet back to roughly hip distance apart. All right. Grounding down through the legs. Find the points of the feet. So these are the center of the heels. Pinky toe mount, big toe mount. Ground down. Belly draws in and lift up along the spine all the way out through the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders. On your next inhale, reach the arms up, interlace the fingers, except the index fingers. On your exhale, come to a side body bend to your right. Come back, inhale, exhale to your left. Inhale back to center, exhale, swan dive down, forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine, belly's engaged, and exhale, lower down. If you have your blocks, please bring them. Frame your front foot and step the right foot back to come to a lunge. Front knees roughly on top of the front ankle or maybe slightly behind. Give yourself enough space so that you can open the chest and look forward. Feel free to adjust your blocks if you find that you need a little bit more space to get there. All right. Belly's engaged. Breathe. Press into the back heel. Now, can we ground down from the tops of the legs into the points of the feet, into sending energy into the back heel, even if it's not touching the ground? As you ground down, can we squeeze the inner thighs together, scissor the legs, belly stays switched on. Now, from here, option one, use your hands to help walk you up to a high lunge. Option two, keep grounding and squeezing those legs, reach the arms forward. Squeeze on up to stand. Breathe. Option to stay here. Otherwise, hands to your heart or hands onto your hips are also great options. Okay, see what works. If you like, you might interlace the fingers, except the index fingers. Now, as you exhale, you're going to press into the back heel and lean to your left. Come as little or as far as you like. Stay in control of your breath and your stance, and come on back to center. Now, as you exhale, slowly lean to your right. Now, it's going to feel quite different on this side. So, press into the back heel, ground those legs, and come back to center. Release the hands. If you like, hands behind you, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back and down, and you might start to straighten out the arms. Option to stay here. Otherwise, keeping the shape of the spine, can we start to hinge forward? And again, come as little or as far as you like. You might touch the belly towards the front thigh, or you might even bring your body towards the inside of the leg and continue to lower down, drawing the top arms up to the sky. You might drop the head and look for your back foot. Keep grounding the legs, press into the back heel, breathe. And then slowly press into the legs and come on back up. Release the arms, maybe reaching them up. And then exhale, lower the hands down. From here, you can remove the blocks, hands to the ground. Going to step back to plank pose. Option to lower the knees. Holding here for 3 breaths. Shoulders over the wrists, belly's engaged. Lengthen the spine, shoulders are gently drawing down, and you're pressing into the heels. Alrighty, when you're ready, pulling up from the belly button, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Child's pose is always available, so please take that pose or any other pose that you might like whenever you need in class. Inhale, shifting forward, coming back to plank. We're going to lower the knees, the chest, and the chin down to the ground. And then from here, sliding forward, coming on to either your baby cobra, cobra pose, or maybe even upward facing dog. And then come on back to downward facing dog. Breathe. All right. Look to your hands. You can walk or hop the feet up, coming to your forward bend. Come halfway up as you lengthen the spine. And exhale down. Bend into the knees, open the chest, look forward, sweep the arms forward. Now use those legs. Can you evenly press into the legs to come up to stand? Hands to your heart, exhale. Breathe. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, except the index finger. Maybe with the opposite thumb on top this time. Exhale, left. Come back to center, inhale, and exhale, other side. Inhale to center, and diving forward, forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine, and exhale, lower down. Again, grab your blocks if you have them, stepping the left foot back to lunge. Take a moment here, front knee, hopefully not further in front than the front ankle. Open the chest, look forward, press into the back heel, breathe. Ground the legs down, squeeze the inner thighs, pull the belly in. Can you get a little longer along the spine? Option 1, to use those hands to walk up. Option 2, keep those legs strong, squeeze, reach the arms forward, and come on up. If you feel this is not quite stable here, please make your adjustments as needed. So always please start with a stable foundation before we move on, so please adjust. Again, hands can remain up, maybe to your heart or maybe on your hips. Keep squeezing the legs, belly in. Breathe. Interlace the fingers, except the index fingers. And again, with the awkward hold, so whichever thumb that doesn't feel good to be on top, we're going to stay with that for this sequence. And from here, lengthen as you breathe in. Exhale, coming to your right. Now press a little bit more into your back heel. This might help stabilize you. Come as far, as little as you're able to stay in control. And come on back to center. Other side is going to feel different, so slowly exhale, coming onto your left. Keep grounding those legs. Breathe. And come on back to center. Release the hands. You might interlace the fingers behind you. Again, coming to the awkward hold, something you're not quite used to. Open the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. Reach the arms away, heart is open. Breathe. Keep pressing into the back heel. Now keep the shape of the spine. You might stay right here. Otherwise, start to hinge forward at the hips. Keep pressing into the back heel. Come as far or as little as you like. You might bring the body onto the front thigh or to the inside of the front leg. Keep coming down if that feels good to do. Maybe arms up to the sky. Maybe dropping the head to look at your back foot. Keep pressing into the back heel. Keep grounding into the legs. And then slowly come on back up. Release the hands. If it feels good, sweep them up high. And then exhale, coming down. Remove the blocks, hands to the ground. We're going to step back to plank pose. Again, option to lower the knees. Belly's engaged, holding for 3 breaths. Deep breaths here. So notice if you're dropping into low back. Try to pull the belly in. Press into the back heel. Legs are engaged. And then pulling up from the belly button. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, coming forward to plank again. Again, we're going to come down to our knees, chest, and chin, and see if you can come down or bring all these body parts down at the same time. And then shifting forward. Finding your favorite back bend, whatever that might be. Shoulders down, heart forward. Coming back to downward dog, you can always move through hands and knees first. Alrighty. Look to your hands, walk or hop the feet up. Forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine. And exhale down. Bend into the knees, hug the belly in, look forward. Sweep the arms forward. Ground down into the points of the feet. Can we come up slowly and evenly down both legs? And see a hard exhale. Take a breath here. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, except the index fingers, and you can come back to your natural hold. Exhale right. Inhale back to center. Exhale left. And come back to center. Exhale forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine. And exhale down. If you have your blocks, grab them. Step the right foot back to lunge. Again, give yourself enough room to open the chest, draw the heart forward, look forward. Breathe. Ground into the legs, squeeze the inner thighs, hug the belly. Alrighty. And again, whichever option is best for you, find your way up. High lunge. Again, please make your adjustments if you need to shorten the stance or widen the stance for a little bit more stability in this pose. And then from here, let's all bring hands to heart. We're going to drop the back heel down. Make any adjustments as you need. We're coming to warrior two. You're going to open the arms out wide. So as you bend into the front knee, again, front knee might be right on top of the front ankle or slightly behind, okay? Lengthen along the spine, ground those legs, breathe. All right, so option to keep these arms nice and long, or you might come to a partial bind. If you're coming to a partial bind, your right arm is going to come behind your back. You can either place the hand onto your low back, or if it can reach all the way to the other side, you might even grab hold of your front thigh. Keep reaching the front arm forward. Breathe. And if this doesn't feel good, just let it go, okay? But if you're happy in this bind, you're going to flip the front palm up to the sky and draw the front arm up. Option to stay right here. Otherwise, sink a little deep into the hips and you might start to reach that top arm back. Ground into both of your legs. Breathe, and you might look up. Come on back to warrior two. Option to keep the bind. We're going to bring that front arm, or the front arm down onto the front thigh. You can open the chest, drop that top shoulder down. Again, if you want to release the bind, you can keep the right hand on the hip, or maybe up to the sky, or maybe close to your ear. Okay, you have options here. Otherwise, for me, I'm gonna stay with the bind. While you're here, feel free to stay. If you have a block, that top hand can come down onto a block, or maybe onto the floor. But if you're coming down, you bring that hip down with you. Open that chest. And if you're here, you can consider wrapping that left arm underneath that leg and grab hold of the other hand, coming into a bind. Breathe. Energy into the back leg and the back foot, and then release. Come on back up to warrior two. Option to keep the bind or not. From here, We're going to wiggle that back foot up. We're going to head to half moon. So feel free to keep the bind, or you can keep the hand onto your hip. If you have your block, you might bring that block in front of the foot. Otherwise, fingertips to the ground as you shift forward, coming to your half moon pose. So lifting the back foot up, press into the back heel and start to turn your hips towards the long side of the mat. You might bring the top arm up, or you might still be in your bind. Deep breaths here. And if you fall and lose balance, that's okay. Take your time. This happens. It's normal. We're going to bend into the front knee. Slowly come on back. Warrior two. Let's all release the bind. Reach the arms up and lower and circle the arms down. Turn both feet forward. You're in your lunge. We're going to bring hands to the ground and step back to plank pose. Deep breaths here. 3 breaths. Option to lower the knees. Keep the belly strong. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog or your child's pose, whatever feels right. And then shift forward to plank. We're going to lower the knee, chest, chin, and coming to your back bend. And coming to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Look to your hands, walk or hop forward, forward bend. Inhale halfway up and exhale lower. Bend the knees, look forward, sweep those arms forward, chair pose, hug the belly. Spine is long, shoulders relax, press on up. And see your heart, exhale. Take a breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, except the index fingers. Again, awkward bind again. And exhale, left. Come back to center, breathe in. And exhale, right. Inhale back to center and exhale, fold. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine. This is what happens when you lose focus for a moment, guys. Exhale, relax. Alrighty, hands onto your blocks. Left foot back. Breathe. Again, open the chest, look forward. Ground those legs, adjust your pose if you need to. Squeeze the thighs. Deep breaths here. Again, finding your best way up, coming to your high lunge. Make any adjustments as you need. And then when you're ready, everybody bring hands to heart. I'm going to lower the back heel, wiggle that back foot away, finding your warrior two stance, and then open the arms out wide. Again, option to keep the arms nice and long. Otherwise, you might bring your left hand around the back so you can keep the back of the hand onto the low back. Or you might reach across as far as it feels good. You might grab hold of the front thigh. Option to stay. Otherwise, open the palm up to the sky, the top palm or front palm. And then reach that arm up. Option to stay here or sink a little deeper into the hips. Draw the top arm back. Breathe. Come on back to warrior two. Again, option to keep the bind. Otherwise, hand on your hip or out to the side. You're going to bring your front arm down onto your front leg. If you're keeping the bind, you can keep that hand there, open the chest. Otherwise, your arm might be up towards the ceiling or maybe close to your ear. Again, that bottom hand can come down onto a block, maybe onto the floor. But as you come down, make sure you bring that hip down with you. If you're here in the partial bind, you might come to a full bind. So let go of the front thigh. Right arm threads underneath the front leg. And grab hold of your fingers here. Keep the chest open. You might look up and back. Deep breaths. And then release. Come on back up. Warrior two. And then release the bind if you like. As we're coming to your half moon. You might bring your hand onto your hip as you wiggle that back foot up. Or you might stay in your partial bind. Okay, see what works. If you think you need a block, or if you have a block, you might place that block in front of the front foot. You're going to start to bring your right hand down, either onto your block or either onto the floor. I'm going to shift back to stay within view. And then you're going to slowly pick the back foot up. You can stay right here. If you're unstable, know that both hands can always come down, okay? Once you're steady, you can begin to open the hips and the chest towards the long side of the mat. If you're not in the bind, you might shoot the left arm up to the sky. Deep breaths. If you're stable here, you can play around with picking the bottom hand off the ground. Just hovering that hand. When you're ready, we're going to bend into the bottom leg. So come on back, warrior two. Let's release the bind. Reach those arms up and down. Circle them down. Coming to your lunge and then step back. Coming to your plank pose. Deep breaths. Again, 3 breaths here. Option to lower the knees. Bellies engage. And sending energy from the core all the way through the legs into the heels. And along the spine and out through the crown of the head. Come on back, downward facing dog. All right. Inhale forward, chest, knee, chest, chin down. And coming forward onto your, or into your back bend. Shoulders down, chest forward. Come on back, downward facing dog. Deep breaths. Look to your hands, walk or hop the feet up, forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine, and exhale down. Bend the knees, look forward, bellies engage, sweep the arms forward for chair pose. Spine is nice and long. Ground evenly into both your legs. Come all the way up. Hands to your heart. Take a breath. All right. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold. Come halfway, lengthen the spine. And exhale, lower. Again, if you have your blocks, start to take them onto your mat. And step the right foot back, coming to lunge. Chest is open, heart is forward, look forward. We're going to lower the back knee down. From here, we're going to bring both your hands or both your blocks to the inside of the front foot and wiggle that the front foot slightly off to the side so you can reposition your hands. Okay, so just to face you, you don't want to be off to one side. Okay, give yourself room so that your arms or your shoulders are stacking over the wrists, hands are roughly shoulder width apart. So coming to lizard pose. All right, breathe. Now you might want to, add some movements here, just sending the hips back and forward just a couple of times before you get really settled into the pose. But whenever you're ready, hang out here just for a little bit. So if you're feeling good here, you can stay. If you don't think you need your blocks, by all means remove them. You can bring your fingertips down, or you might bring your elbows down to the ground. Bring the heart forward. Breathe. Option to stay here, or you might tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee and press into the back heel. At the same time, you're going to use your hands to imagine you're trying to drag the heart forward. Breathe. And then gently lower the back knee. You can walk your hands back up if you need your, or if you want to bring your blocks back, please do. And then we're going to wiggle that front foot back between the hands. Lift the back knee up. You might want to step the back foot up by an inch or two. We're coming to pyramid pose. So again, before you settle into the pose, it might feel good to add some movements to lengthen the front leg, and you can release. You do that a few times. And then when you're ready, we're going to settle in. Now here, you might want to bring the blocks up a little higher. You might want to walk the blocks slightly behind the front foot. Again, we're going to gently encourage the hips to come forward. So you're going to draw the left hip back and right hip forward. Open the heart and find your spine nice and long. Okay, so take your time. You might hold here. If you don't have blocks and this is too much, you can come all the way up and then straighten the leg. And then you can sort of hinge forward as far as it feels good. If your low back starts to talk to you, if you have a wall, you can always press against a wall. Okay? Deep breaths here. And as you begin to relax into this pose, you might be able to get your belly a little close towards your front thigh. Keep relaxing the shoulders down so you're not tensing and squeezing everything up towards the ears. And then you might adjust as you relax into the pose as you come lower. And you may not come lower, so please listen to your body. If it feels right, then just stay right where you are. And eventually, if it feels good to relax the spine, the head and neck, then please do. Breathe. Then come back up halfway, lengthen the spine. Bend into the front knee. You can remove the blocks, hand to the ground and step back, downward facing dog. All right, deep breaths here. We're going to inhale the left leg up high. Draw the knee to the chest as you shift forward to plank. We're going to place the front knee down to the ground. We're going to place the back knee down to the ground. We're coming to pigeon pose. So if you know your version of the pigeon pose, or which version you like best in your pigeon, then please just come into your usual pose. Otherwise, I'm going to walk you through. So here you're going to keep walking the back knee away until you're maybe sitting onto your left heel. And this might be enough, okay? If so, please stay here. Otherwise, you're going to roll onto your left hip just for a second so you can take that foot away from you. So you're going to draw that foot a little bit further away from your groin, somewhere between your groin and the top of the mat. And then you're going to come back on top. Okay, so you might adjust a few times if you don't know where you like to be. So you might move that foot away for more intensity or closer towards your groin for less. Trick is you want to square those hips back down. So you can make your adjustments as much as you need until you find that spot where you can hang out, where you're feeling good sensation here, but it's not screaming at you. Open the chest, shoulders down, breathe. Now if it feels good to stay here. Otherwise you might walk the hands away. You might bring the elbows down. Notice if you can keep the heart nice and open and forward. Imagine you're trying to bring that belly down onto the floor. And if you have more room to go here, you might bring the chest, the head or chin down. Deep breaths here. And slowly walk the hands back towards you. You can tuck your back toes under. You're going to press into your hands, lift the hips. Come on back to downward facing dog. And it might feel good here to just walk out the legs. And then slowly walk the feet up. Forward bend. Come halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower down. Again, if you like to use your blocks, grab them, and we're going to step the left foot back. Open the heart, look forward, breathe. Lower the back knee. Again, bring both blocks to the inside of the front foot. Start to wiggle the foot a little bit off to the side so you can readjust and have the hands roughly shoulder width apart. Again, heart is pointing forward. And you might gently drop the hips. Option to stay right here. Otherwise, you might remove your blocks. Bring fingertips to the ground. You can untuck the back toes if you want. Maybe bring the elbows down. Drawing the heart forward. Breathe. And if you can, maybe you can try hugging that right knee close towards the right shoulder. Option to tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. Press into the back knee, the back heel as you reach the heart forward. Deep breaths. Or you can imagine reaching the crown of the head forward, whatever visual is going to help you here. Deep breaths. And then lower the back knee. Use your hands to help you up. If you want your blocks here with you, bring them back. And then wiggle that front foot back between the hands or the blocks. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Step the back foot up an inch or so as we prepare for pyramid pose. And feel free to add some movements here. And then when you feel like this is good, you want to settle in, then stay. Again, you might want to change your blocks here to begin. I'm going to give yourself some space. Maybe walk the blocks back. If you have a wall, you can utilize the wall here. Alrighty, open the chest, lengthen the spine, drawing right hip back, left hip forward, belly's engaged. This might be good for you here, so you can stay right here. Front knee doesn't have to be straight. You might even want to keep a micro bend here. Now, if it feels good, just stay with your breath. See if you can relax into that leg here, the front leg. And then slowly you might begin to adjust your blocks to come a little deeper. Keep lengthening the spine. You might get that belly a little closer towards the front thigh. Keep relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And eventually you might allow the spine to round and the head to relax. Deep breaths. And then slowly come on halfway up, lengthen the spine, bending to the front knee. Okay, you can remove the blocks, hands to the ground and step back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up and draw the knee to the chest. Again, find your pigeon pose, otherwise I'll walk you through. Bring the knee down, back knee down, and start to inch the back knee further away until you're sort of sitting onto your right heel. Option to stay right here, otherwise roll onto your right hip to make your adjustments. Moving that foot a little bit further away from your groin for more intensity, or pulling it back for less. Eventually, some people could get their shins or the front shin parallel to the front of the mat. But that is not everybody's goal for today. So work with your body. You want to find a nice sensation of of stretch, but nothing painful, nothing too uncomfortable such that you lose your breath. Alrighty, so once you're here, you might untuck the back toes, and you might stay right here, or keeping the spine nice and long and the heart drawing forward, you can lower the elbows down. And just staying here for a moment or two and just see how this feels. Even if you know that usually you can get deeper, it's always good to move slowly and mindfully. Noticing any sensations along the way and how your body feeling today. So just as you go. Staying one more breath here. And then slowly come on up, bring your hands or walk your hands back. Tuck the back toes under. As you lift into the back knee, you're going to press into the arms to step back to downward dog. Again, take a moment here, make any movements that might feel good to help reset. Take one last breath. And look to your hands, start to walk the feet up. Coming to your forward bend. Come halfway up, lengthen the spine, and exhale, lower. From here, bending to the knees, you can continue to lower down. You're going to find your way to sit, so use your hands, blocks, whatever you need to lower down gently. And then from here, sitting with your feet roughly hip distance apart, we're going to slowly roll on down. So you can either hold onto your legs, the floor, or you might reach the arms forward. Start to roll, so tuck the tailbone or tilt the pelvis towards you as you roll on down. Bring my watch with me. Come on down slowly, one vertebra at a time. Okay, you might walk the feet a little bit closer towards you and have the feet out wide. And then we're going to just sway the knees side to side. You might keep your hands on your belly for this, or maybe arms out wide. Alright, slowly come on back to center. We're going to hug the knees in towards the chest, gently rock side to side. Then you're going to open the arms out to the sides. You're going to draw the knees over to your right. You can look away from your knees, so you might look to your left. You can stay right here if it feels good. We want to keep both shoulder blades down, so make any adjustments you need to get there. If your knees don't come all the way across, you might want to use a block and place it under for a little bit of support. Or you might even cross the left leg over as you come into the twist. See what feels good here. So taking a deep breath in, filling up the low back, the mid back, the upper back. Next you exhale, melt down into the left shoulder blade. One more like this, breathing in and out. And slowly, if you have your legs crossed, uncross them, come on back to center, give your legs a squeeze, gently rock side to side. And then again, open the arms out wide, bring the legs over to the other side. Again, noticing what feels good. If you crossed your leg at the first round, you might do this on the second round, so right leg on top. Looking towards your right, perhaps. Again, whatever you need to keep both shoulder blades down, so you can always bring in your block, your cushion or blankets. And then 2 breaths again, breathing in, filling up the spine from the bottom to the top. And then exhale, melt into the right shoulder blade. 1 more breath, breathe in and out. And then slowly come on back to center. So uncross the legs, come on to center. And gently rock side to side. And if it feels good, you can give yourself a nice squeeze, so really drawing the knees towards your chest. You can even draw the head towards the knee, and you might really give yourself a big squeeze here. Squeeze, 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 get into a tiny little ball, and then relax. Let it go. So coming to your Shavasana. And giving yourself a moment to settle in. You might have your eyes open or closed. Coming back to your breath. Noticing any sensations in your body. Again, without attachment, without judgment, just observe. Staying with your breath as you breathe in, feel the air enter in through your nostrils. And traveling perhaps deep down into your belly, filling the belly up like a balloon. And then exhale, gently release and sense the air moving back out through the nostrils. Noticing if there are any areas in the body that might be calling your attention. And allow your attention to wander. Allow that attention to wander through your body. Again, without attachment or judgment. So notice what is arising. And then allow these movements to dissolve as you watch new sensations or movements arise. These movements might be feelings, sensations, thoughts, memories. Just allow them to come and allow them to go, free as they please. As you just sit, watching, observing, without participating, without engaging. And if your thoughts, or if you end up having your thoughts getting caught up in storytelling, where you find that you're no longer just an observer, that's okay. As soon as you realize this, just bring your attention perhaps back to your breath. Feeling the movement of the air moving in, moving out. Your body moving in connection with your breath. Taking one last deep breath in. Breathe all the way out. You can bend your knees and start to roll over to your favorite side. Without fully waking yourself up just yet, Just bring yourself to a comfortable position, and you might keep your eyes closed. And as you inhale, we're going to reach the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, draw your thumbs to your forehead for positive thoughts. Thumbs to your lips for kind words. And thumbs to your heart for inner peace and happiness. And gently open your eyes. Namaste. Alright, thanks guys for joining me today. Again, we'll do this again next Friday, same time, same place. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. See you later.